And we're live. So confused, man.
Okay, I'm working on it.
What's up, boys? Hello, y'all. Hey, Brian Tyler. It's our third installment, right? Yeah, third installment of our Mad Viking Live. This is awesome. Today we have Israel Barkley in the studio. What's up? Everybody say hello, Israel.
Hello.
So confused. Today we're gonna take all of your questions from the chat,
Okay, I'm
like we
working
did
on it.
last week,
What's up,
but we're also gonna
boys?
interject
Hello,
some of
y'all. Hey,
the
Brian
questions
Tyler.
that we kind of
It's
get in
our
the email
third installment,
right?
every week, every day, stuff
installment
like
of our
that.
Mad
So,
Viking Live. This is awesome.
today
Let's see
we
who we
have
got in
Israel
here
Barkley in the studio.
in chat. What's up? Everybody
Hello.
say hello, Israel.
Hello.
Awesome. Get a few people in there. Today we're going to take all of your questions from the chat,
Okay, I'm
like we
working
did
on it.
last week,
What's up,
but we're also going to
boys?
interject
Hello,
some of
y'all. Hey,
the
Brian
questions
Tyler.
that
Chris
we
Hill.
kind of get in
Sorry,
the
how do
email
you say that? Chris Hill.
right?
Every week, every day,
Yeah,
stuff like
of our
that.
Mad
So,
Viking
Rick
Live.
Stafford's
This
in
is
there.
awesome.
What's up, brother?
Today,
Let's see who we got in
he
here.
was asking me about
Studio.
the Mad Viking Kylie mugs today, and
Everybody
say hello, Israel.
Awesome. Get a
They
few people
sold
in there.
out quick, so
Today
they're
we're
not
gonna
going to be in
take all
stock
of your
at any
questions
point
from
here.
the
Probably
chat,
for a couple of months.
like
We
we
got
did
to talk
last
to
week.
Jason
But we're
about
also
that.
going to
But
interject some of
those
the
mugs
questions
always
that
do pretty well.
we kind of get in the email
Say that, Chris Hill,
right? Every week, every day, stuff like that.
So I think
Rick
maybe we
Stafford's
can
in
kick
there.
it off.
What's up, brother?
Zach, you
See
want
who
to
we
ask?
got in
He
here.
was asking me about
Questions.
the Mad Viking Kylie mugs today,
one of us
and
a question first, and
they
few people
sold
in there.
out
Go from there.
quick, so they're not going to be in stock at any point here.
Paul.
Probably for a couple of months. We got to talk to
Jay.
Jason about that. But, Do
you really need to
those
use
mugs
beard
always
oil?
do pretty well.
Do I really need to use beard
Every
oil?
week, every day, stuff
Yes,
like that.
that's
So
a
I
really
think maybe we
common
can kick
question
it off.
actually that we get, and the answer
Zach,
is an
you want to ask?
astounding
He
yes.
was
It
asking
is
me about
probably
the Mad Viking Kylie
the
mugs
most
today,
important
and,
tool in your
and
beard care
they sold
arsenal.
out quick, so they're
So
not
from
going
the
to be in
time you
stock
start
at
growing a
any
beard
point
to
here.
even when it's
Probably
full
for a
out
couple
at
months. We got to
terminal
talk to
length.
Jason about that. But,
do you really need
In
to use beard
particular, when
oil?
you get into the
do I
beard growth
really
stage
need to
where
use
your beard
beard
starts
oil?
to get itchy and you start to
That's
have
a
beard
really
dandruff
common
show
question
up.
actually that we get.
And the answer
Zach,
is an
you want to
beard
ask?
oil
He
becomes
was
really
asking me about
important because number
the
one, it
Mad Viking
softens the
Kylie
skin,
mugs
it takes
today,
care of
and,
that itchy
in your
feel.
beard care arsenal.
So from the
It
time you
reduces
start growing a
tangles, so when
beard
your beard
to
gets a little bit
even when
longer and
it's
you have to brush it
full
and comb
out
it, it
at
helps
terminal
reduce
length tangles
tangles
in your beard. In particular, when you get into the beard growth. Briefly, when do you use beard oil? Is I know the question we get asked as soon as people ask, we answer whether or not you need to use beard oil. Using beard oil is becomes largely a personal preference as your beard grows out. But as your beard is growing out, it becomes really important. You want to use your beard oil at least once a day. You want to start normally, most people start when they get out of the shower, you towel dry your beard, and then you're just going to want to apply a couple drops of that beard oil into your hand. Don't just pump it onto your face, just pump it into your hand, rub your hands together just a little bit, warm it up, and then you're just going to work it in. Once you work it in, then you're just going to brush it or comb it, and you do the same thing with your mustache. So that's basically how you want to use it. The longer your beard gets, the more beard oil you're going to use. And you can also use it more times throughout the day, depending on your environment and length of your beard and things like that. If you have a really dirty job, you might need to use it more as well. So that's that question.
So Jay, how often do you use beard oil yourself personally?
I personally use beard oil once a day. I use it in conjunction with a couple other things. I'll use beard balm or beard butter with it because I have a really dry, coarse beard, so I have to use a little bit more. And my beard's a little bit longer too. It's not as long as Israel's for say. I wish it was, but so yeah, at least once a day when I get out of the shower, I'll use beard oil. Like I said, if I'm when I get home, if I'm outside working or sweating a lot or something like that, I will use it again in the evening once I get cleaned up for the evening.
So you're a beard oil balm or a beard oil butter guy all the time?
I'm a beard oil butter guy all the time. So
See, I'm just primarily just a beard oil guy for the most part. I don't have that curly beard. I occasionally use beard butter like at night, like if we're out riding and I'm hitting the sun all day and the dust and all the good stuff on the motorcycle or something like that. Like I'll use it as a nighttime leave-in conditioner or something like that. But for the most part, just being in the office, it's just beard oil every day.
Yeah, I think environment plays heavily on that. There's people that are in the humid environment, you got cold environment, you got everything in between. Guys that work with cement, welders, things of that nature. I mean, to Hall's point, I say once a day, definitely, to start your day off. Um, I personally do it twice a day. I do it once in the morning, hit the ground running, and then once at night before I crash out.
Use beard oil like that?
I use beard oil. Yeah. So in the morning, I call it my day pack. Is beard oil, beard balm. Balm helps keep all the flyaways reined in on, especially when you get a little bit longer. And then the beard butter I use whenever I go to sleep at night. So I do oil and butter after showering, and then go to sleep to keep my everything conditioned. So
Definitely. Chris Helen in chat says, "Can you over oil, and if so, can it be bad for your beard?" I wouldn't say it could be bad. You can over oil. If it's just general rule of thumb, if your beard looks greasy, you use too much, and that doesn't matter what product it is, from our beard lotion to our butter to our balm to our oil. If your beard looks too greasy, that's you just use too much. A little goes a long way for sure.
great.
Yeah, and if you are using too much consistently, I mean, at the worst, you're gonna maybe have a little bit of acne breakout or something like that. But you'll definitely know, like Jay says, if it feels greasy or looks greasy in the mirror, you're definitely using way too much. So always start small and work your way up with bigger quantities as you feel like you need them.
And it looks like we have a little bit of technical difficulty. Israel's mic is kind of off or
Yeah,
not.
well, pull a little bit closer to you.
Yeah, just might have to lean in.
It should be.
It's the
You kind of got to
table. I
like.
feel like I'm like kneeling or smacking the table. Or something.
Yeah, you kind of,
Better or worse, same.
It looks like we're looking better here. So
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when you sit over there, you kind of got to put your knees into the little slots and engage. Like male, there you go.
Better.
Yeah, I know, right?
How
Yeah,
does
you
that
just
feel,
got to sit
baby?
closer. You like these headphones though, by the way? You hear your Barry White voice. You like lean in, you start talking all smooth and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
all right, Jay. So Moot the Cat on our chat. He wants to know, with Ladder Rock and Blood Orange on the way out, what richer and less perfumey fragrances do you guys recommend that he can try next?
Aside from Ladder Rock,
Yeah, with Ladder Rock and Blood Orange on their way out, he wants a richer and less perfumey fragrance.
Hands down, hollow.
yeah, Hollow's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Valhalla's pretty smooth. They're not cologne, but um, they're the safe scents, especially for your significant other, is what we found out. But with these new scents, oh my god, dude. Fenrir, Dringair, those two especially, the girls really love them. In my experience, just looking at reviews and talking to people that's used our new scents. So I guess that's what I'd recommend: our two safes and our two news, and go from there.
All right, before we move on, we have one more that we can hit. What are your thoughts on beard straighteners? I know we talked about this last week, but we might as well talk about it again.
Yep.
Especially the heated beard straighteners is what he's referring to. And for me, it's a personal preference. I don't like them. If they're not used properly, you can cause a lot of damage to your hair and your skin for that matter. I know there are a lot of people out there that use them and they work well, and I think that becomes a personal preference at that point. If you're going to use them, be very careful that you don't scorch your beard
Or your face.
or your face, correct?
Israel, do you have any experience with beard straighteners? Have you tried them?
I will say that in order to rein in my stash, in order to style it, there is a mini straightener that I use.
Like a flat iron type deal?
Yeah, flat iron.
Right on.
I learned a trick ages ago when I started styling my stash, and I went on to the internet to figure it out. And I think it's Randy Horseman out in California.
hmm
Big time winner in the beard comps and stuff like that, Epic Stash. But he did a YouTube video and he actually showed using this little mini straightener. Now, the big key thing that I personally say when it comes to heat in your facial hair, be it your beard or your stash, make sure you get a good heat protectant. Like douse it in heat protectant and make sure that as you're pulling it down through, once you get so far, you want to get back up above the hair and hold it close as you pull out through the tips. Otherwise, you're going to be like one of those horrific videos that you see on YouTube where the girl, she goes like this and then she pulls it away and the hair is still in the curling wand or whatever. It's parted off of her head. So it will over time damage. I had to go through a regrowth after about 2 years of styling my stash. Everybody gave me crap because I looked like a whaler for a short time. But you got to do what you got to do if you're styling it a lot. But yeah, I'm with Hall on it. Try to keep heat at minimum. That's like I
Yeah, definitely.
blow dry my beard. I make sure you have a blow dryer with a cool setting. So when you blow it out.
Awesome. Gastric Bigfoot. Are you guys looking for more models for Mad Viking? I'd love to be a part of the Mad Viking family. So we have a couple ways into like ambassador affiliate type style programs. Our affiliate program is basically kind of like give a code for 10%, make 10% to all your friends type deal. We also have an ambassador program that Zach is in charge of over here, and it's basically more of our creator program. You don't per se get a code, but you get a link. The link will lead to your one of a page of you on our website with products that you recommend, and you'll like at certain times create content for us as well. And that program should be launching beginning of next week. We're in the final testing with it. We do have a couple ambassadors in there right now going through the program and signing up, getting the emails, the whole flow, all that good stuff. So yeah, look forward to that. And you can go to the website right now and sign up for that.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, by the way, just come across chat. I saw his name in chat. Brad Westbury got his immigration visa approved today, so he's allowed to be here to stay. So congratulations on that, real quick, Brad. While we're looking between questions, buddy, it's good to have you back.
All right, we could pop to one of the email questions. Zach, what do you got?
Gotcha. How often should I trim my beard?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Short answer, personal preference. But if you're new to the game and you're just growing your beard for your first time, there's kind of like this huge, like initial growth phase that you kind of go through from like the start out itchy stubble to the, you know, 6 weeks in, you get weird ditches and flips in your beard and you can't keep it straight and all that good stuff. I would say at least let it go 6 months before you trim, but I would actually recommend further than that, like 3 or 4 months, just to see what style you can rock or what some guys might not grow a strong stash, so they might see that after they go 3 4 months in and might choose to go a little bit whaler and then trim after that. Kind of just depends on what personal styles you're trying, and you know it's yeah, it's basically just personal preference and styling, I would say.
Yeah, I usually trim mine every now and again. I haven't in a very long time. I'm kind of overdue. It's getting wispy down at the bottom, but I usually go about every other week or two. I'll trim. So
And
I do.
that's what a lot of guys will
Yep.
do. Once it starts to look thin or it starts to look out of uniformity, that's when they'll
Out of
start.
shape, yeah.
That's when they'll start trimming. And that's a good time to start trimming it, if unless you're seeing a lot of
Yep.
split ends or something like that.
And we usually go about a month here ourselves, like Jay and I. But we have Johnny come in and he gives us trims every month. So, that's the kind of the maintenance interval is what they talk about as far as, once you find your style and you're living in that style, depending on your beard growth rate, it could be 6 weeks, it could be a month, it could be 2 months. Just depends on personal growth. So
Yeah, I always tell everybody they ask and I say 3 months. I'm like 3 months, figure out where the scragglers are, around there, trim away the scragglers, keep letting everything else grow until you end up with something full. Um, just so that you end up more with, hey, I want a trunk beard like you have, and it's like, okay, well, throw away your razor for 6 months, and then
right.
if you do go to a barber, I know you guys go to somebody that knows your hair inside and out, but I've heard so many horror stories. And the big thing, I will never go back to a barber. I do my own. But if you do, the best advice I can tell you, go online, get a couple pictures of other people's beards that's similar to yours, and then take that to a reputable barber that knows what they're doing with facial hair, and say, I want to look like this. Because the last barber that touched my hair, he butchered it, and he took away 6 months of growth from the underside.
Oh,
Damn.
So I've seen some pictures when you first started growing your beard,
Mm-hmm.
and so from personal, like when you first started, like how long did you leave it go until like you dove in and you're just like, yeah, I want it to look like this. How long was that? Was it the 3 months or?
So I started growing my beard for a Halloween costume, which it was
That's fucking perfect.
it was back in 2019, which you guys
Right.
all know. We met at Monsters Ball, and it was the Kratos costume.
Oh yeah.
So I started in January to grow my beard, and then it was that summer that I ended up talking to Brandon and Scott Haney that hey, you should compete. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then next thing you know, they're like, that stash, you could probably win full beard styled stash and blah blah all this and that. And I'm like, I had no clue what they were. It was all foreign to me. Um, Unbeknownst to me, there was huge mistakes that I made in my stash journey, mistakes I was making in my beard journey, which I try to mitigate that with people that ask me, hey, what do you recommend? How, and heck, even at the Kingview Lumberjackses or whatever that place is in Cranberry, I was talking to the GM there and trying to help him with his facial hair even, and gave him some tips. But yeah, like I used to trim 2 fingers up above my Adam's apple, and the amount of depth in beard that you lose is astounding. So,
Yeah, that underbeard.
yep, I tell everybody, if you want that full look, don't trim around the underside of the jaw line. Don't trim, directly across where essentially the underside of your jaw meets your neck. um, Let it grow 3 months and find out where the scraggler hairs are and only nip them away and keep letting everything grow. It's good. I understand it's going to be itchy. Just work through it. And once you get through it with using decent beard products, I feel that you'll end up coming out with a solid looking beard.
Oh, definitely. John Anton said he started growing his beard for a Halloween costume too. So I've searched that before. When Halloween comes around, you don't want to be a bearded character that's not bearded.
right.
So you kind of got to search like bearded costumes. I think
Now
we
I'm
wrote a blog about that.
We did.
now
Yeah.
I'm stuck in it.
Well, Jay wrote the blog about that. Yeah.
Every costume I do now has to have a beard in it.
Yeah, it's not like you can be Ken from Ken and Barbie or anything, right?
Unless I want to be bearded Ken.
That might be a move.
Yeah, might be.
I'm surprised it doesn't
I'm Mad
exist.
Viking Ken.
Right on, right on.
Maybe we should make like a Mad Viking Kindle.
There we go.
Figurines.
Yeah.
That's like board shorts. All right.
Was it
Zach, do we
Mojo
got any more
Dojo Mad
questions
Viking?
for anybody else here? Let's see what's in chat.
So Israel was talking about his personal beard journey, and I think it's pretty fitting since he has the mustache for it. What's the best way to take care of my mustache?
The There is an article that got written or that we collaborated with. I think it was like a year ago. I
Oh yeah,
believe
blog
it's
article.
yeah, the blog article. It's still on the site. I believe. I will tell you that if you don't get a chance to tune in today, that article pretty much answers it all. But the one mistake that I made in my stash journey was I call it the triangle. So when you kind of come down off of your nose, if you kind of like make a triangle, out here is where the your base hairs are that help hold, oops, as I hit the microphone, help hold if your stash has the ability to go in that length. Not everybody has a genetic stash that can grow 9 inches and they can tuck it behind their ears.
Yeah, that's kind of like the whole, each part of your facial hair has different like terminal length.
Right.
And guys like Israel are kind of, they're not super rare, but they are a lot more rare as far as the mustache game goes in terminal growth, terminal length. Mitch is like that too.
Right.
But for sure.
Agreed. Yeah. The that base hair in the middle that's the part that everybody usually gives in. And oh, every time I drink my beer, it's in my beer, it's in my food. I got to hold my stash. For the longest, when I don't do my stash and it's kind of parted, I still have to hold up underneath it as I eat. That amazes people for some reason. Most of the time, people think I'm holding my nose because I don't like the taste of what I'm eating or something.
The first time I ever seen that was Jeff Langham.
Yep.
We were that was over at Worlds in Austria in 2015, I think. I seen him eating, and he's kind of like pulls his whole like arm in like this and lifts his stash up,
Yep.
and then inserts the burger. So it was like I never thought I don't have that issue, so I never thought about that problem. But
You have to commit to it. That's you're either
definitely,
going to do it or you're not. And I'm a firm believer that a lot of people just don't. It is a commitment to be able to do it. But I will say that if you're planning on growing your stash out, the thing that I didn't learn out of the gate was getting a stash comb and then training the hair while it's early. And that's using a little bit of, it doesn't take a lot of beard oil in that area, but using like a balm off of the start, just with like a nice medium hold, but just keep training it with a mustache comb, not a beard comb, a mustache comb, and keep training it, training it, training it as it's growing longer and longer and longer. And then once it gets a little bit longer, then usher in a mustache wax. You guys produce a really kick-ass uh, mustache wax for the smaller stash as you get out into the length that I'm at. If you want to get into that type of style, you're looking at got to be glued for about half of the stash and then a
yeah.
competition wax for the tips.
Yeah, Jay's recipe for the competition wax. We got to get that out into the wild, man.
I'm
Totally.
wearing it today. I still have it in.
I've talked to a lot of guys that have used it out in the wild, like for beard comps, stuff like that, and they're like hands down, it's the best wax I ever used. And it's a shame we haven't sold it yet. It was kind of like sourcing issues at first, but I think Jay's got it wrapped up here, and hopefully we can kick that out, this
Yeah,
spring summer.
it's definitely just a sourcing issue with a couple of the ingredients because, I mean, one of those ingredients is a natural resin, and harvesting that resin is not, uh, obviously, apparently not the easiest thing or the most
Right.
efficient thing in the world to do. So it does get, for the amount of resin that I want, it's tough to get your hands on. But I have been working on it and making some contacts, so I know that that's not far. I know it's been a while, but I know it's not far out now. So, and I appreciate the compliment, but you got to get it made, or else the compliments don't really, there's only a handful of people that think it's good. But
Well, I will say, like most Mad Viking products, a little goes a long way. The tin that you gave me, what, 3 years ago? I'm still like 7/8 of the product still left in
nice.
it.
Maybe I need to make it not quite as good.
Yeah.
Don't make it last as long. Fuck it.
It takes one hell of a hot shower to get it out of my face. I know that. I told Big J the one day, I'm like, yeah, it's one molecule away from super glue.
So back to the trimming real quick. Jake says that he's got about 2 inches of wispiness that he can't seem to get to fill out. He says it's nice and thick for about 6 inches, and then the wispiness starts. So he wants to know, should he just trim it and just forget about it, or let it grow?
So it kind of just depends because that's that terminal growth question, right?
Yes.
Terminal growth is a bastard, and everybody's genetics only let them go so far, as far as the fullness specter goes. And like with that being said, there's guys that like Mitch on our beard team that can rock a beard down to his waist, and it's nice and full, right? That's just his terminal length, and you can't really. I don't think you really know that until you see it where it stops growing, right?
Right.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think it was 39 when the patch between my mustache and my beard finally grew in.
It does take a while.
It's like
It does
there's
take
like
a while.
weird stages. Like when don't I always tell people that are in their 20s, they're like, oh, but I want to have this Viking beard, and it's like, well, your body continuously changes,
Right. That's
and
that's
it
the
evolves.
switch from like testosterone to DHT.
Right.
And
But the trimming aspect, for me, I think the stash is a little bit different than the beard. Beards, I don't style my beard when I go to trim it. But when I have my stash, I definitely like make sure that if I'm looking to, I style it with like a mild wax, you know, and kind of hold it and then go in and just do selective cuts where less is more, so to speak. You know, take a little bit off, comb it, look at it, style it again, trim it. There are a ton of mustache trimming videos online. Um, I'm not going to put a video online for that because mine's just a case by case basis.
Sweet.
We got any more email questions, Zach?
Let's see. How do I know which beard style suits me best?
How do I know which beard style suits me best? There are a million ways to answer this question, but let's just go over a few of the basics. Number one, again, it's your beard. It's all personal preference. If you feel like the style that you're rocking suits you, then then it suits you and it's perfect for you. But there are certain tricks and hacks that you can kind of follow depending on, believe it or not, the shape of your face. So everybody has one of 4 or 5 different face shapes, right? There's oval face shapes, there's round, there's triangle, there's even diamond face shapes. So you can use your beard to either soften or accentuate different features of your face. So
Yeah.
if you feel like you have a narrow chin, then you might want to grow a fuller beard down towards the sides and maybe not as long,
Yeah,
even like a circle, a Garibaldi or something like that, so that it can round that out and soften that feature that maybe that's what you're looking to hide or you're
yeah, it's
not so confident
kind
about.
of about, just like you said, I think balancing things out, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about finding a balance of how you feel confident with your beard and you're accentuating the features of your look that you want to accentuate or even hiding the features that you're not so confident about and that you're maybe trying to hide with your beard. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's complete. I mean, we all do it. We all have a beard and we all style it differently or trim it differently, to make ourselves feel more comfortable and feel better. I mean, that's what it's about. And the other thing to consider with this is don't be afraid to change up from time to time.
Mhm.
Don't
Yeah,
be
definitely.
afraid to go with a little different style or trim it up shorter and see how you feel about it because it will grow back. Just as long as you're not doing anything crazy where you have to shave it off completely, which we have seen, and which is it's very, very sad when that happens.
all
So,
the power tool accidents, or hey, I was
right.
cooking steaks on the grill and
But that can also be a blessing in disguise. It can give you the opportunity to maybe experiment with all of a sudden now I have to go chops because I made a
Mhm.
mistake in the middle of my beard, and you might really like it. So don't be afraid to experiment with those things too. Just whatever makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel confident, then it can't be wrong. That's what this is about. So
definitely.
Yeah, genetically, I always tell people was let it, again, the 3 month mark, let it grow in, see where the strong parts are. You may find that you got patchiness on the cheeks. Um, if you got patchiness on the cheeks, but you can rock a hell of a goatee,
mhm.
where you can kind of line it back and have this full trunk goatee that who knows? I mean, if you've never grown it super long, you could be in like a Scott Sakura realm or Aaron realm or even Brian,
Right.
Right.
with just this nice solid goatee. Or maybe the chin is the problematic area, to your point, the chops.
Right.
Or maybe you just rock one hell of a stash and, start looking up those that just rock a stash.
Right. There,
I mean, I'm not going to do that.
going back to the patchiness thing though, there's a lot of articles online that kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's like misinformation or something like that, to where they're like, if it's patchy, you wanna keep it cut short. But I think it's the opposite. Wouldn't it, if you had a little bit of patchiness, like if you let it grow a couple more months, like you can get those hairs over top of that
Uh,
patchy area and kind of cover that up.
And,
And that's what I've seen.
and that depends on genetics too. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
true.
like that until I just said, fuck it. I'm just gonna let this thing grow and see what happens to it. I always had a little bit of patchiness here.
Really?
Yeah, until I just decided to let it grow
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
and let it grow through that.
Mm-hmm.
Then it really started to fill in and turn into something that I like and I'm very comfortable with. But
Yeah.
I mean, I rocked a soul patch for a long time because I just didn't feel like I could grow a good beard.
Yeah.
And even when it started growing,
How
it's like,
long was that soul patch?
it wasn't a world record. It was not a world record. I can tell you that.
That was the question of the week.
Last week.
Yeah, last week that was a fucking. We dove in the soul patches hardcore, dude.
So yeah, I mean, it's genetics, age plays a big factor in that, and sometimes just letting it grow and see what happens. To Israel's point, sometimes that makes all the difference in the world. So.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
But there is no magic snake oil out there that's going to make your patchiness just all of a sudden miraculously produce this Viking beard that I'm going to go to battle with.
If there was, I would sell it.
Right?
Right.
I would have it. I would patent it.
I mean,
products from beard oil to balm are like maintenance. They're like armor for your beard, so it'll
But the
help.
supplements you guys have, I mean, I rock those things. The beard fuel, or was it the
Beard boost and biotin,
and
yeah.
the biotin. I mean, I use that daily. That stuff. I don't know. It's my fault you produce it.
And it's not snake oil. I mean,
it's not. There's great vitamins and minerals in there that are
and your body
strictly
needs them
for your hair. And
Yes.
even if you look at some of those, I mean, in comparison to like a multivitamin, it's not bad for you. So you're doing yourself a solid, not only for your beard but for your overall health.
Right.
And just to step outside of this realm real quick to answer a quick question, Harley Davidson Homecoming, Jay and I are going to go up to and visit some friends. We are not planning on vending. We're just going to go up and
ride and explore,
drink lots of water,
yeah,
hydrate.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that. We also got Joe Barone said he's just back from PA, a couple bottles of blood honey in hand. Hell yeah. We should crack into a bottle of blood honey today.
My bottle that was up here. What you can crack
yeah, we got some grog over there in the refrigerator in the bottom, I think. If you want to grab that, Israel.
If I take these headphones off, will they like squeal or something?
No, you won't explode or anything like that.
Your chair is wired to an explosive device, though.
Yes. As soon as you get up, it shoots you into the ceiling, into the rafters, like an ejection seat.
We have glasses, or do I need to get cups?
We have those glasses up there. Or we just pass the bottle around. That's fine. I don't got herpes anymore.
It never goes away.
I know, right? That's why I said that. I thought it was funny. So I think we don't have any blood honey on ice right now, but this the Viking Grog, that's Israel's face on there. So we got that deal done. I took the photograph. We were up here for what, about a half an hour?
Oh my god, it was longer than that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It felt short to me because like all I had to do is take some awesome pictures and videos, and that's what I like to do. So
didn't feel like awesome.
Didn't feel like a long time to me, but yeah, they came up to the warehouse and we did a little bit of work with them, and that's a design that they came up with. I can't wait for the video to come out too. That's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, this is a grog. So I don't know much about grogs, do you, Jay? I think the thing is they taste a lot like wine, or more like wine than a mead does.
Yeah, I can just speak from my personal opinion. I don't know the facts, but to me, it tastes a little bit sweeter or closer to wine. I guess I don't know if it's necessarily sweeter, but it almost tastes more like a red wine to me.
Have a drink of that. That's good stuff. I could solidly sit here and drink the whole bottle by myself.
Oh, I could easily down that bottle. It's so good. The blood honey is so when blood honey came out in 2020 during the whole COVID apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
I remember we had the thank you. The beard comp, the Monsters Ball here at the warehouse. And I remember Kingview being set up with it, and I think I drank like a fish.
I had about 6 or 7 bottles myself that night.
Yeah, it was epic.
Yeah, it put a lot of people in a crazy spot. They were asking like, do you feel different after drinking that much of all of that? Like, I mean, everybody was into it, so it was a good time.
Hey, Jeff Blair, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
They're working on our beer down there.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, down at Cellarworks Brewing. We have a
Get back to work, Jeff.
Yeah, get back to work, motherfucker. So sitting here like cussing and bourbon like a fucking sailor on a podcast. Can you get YouTube strikes for that?
I think so, but the
There's been worse.
yeah, the new CEO is a little different with it, so I think it might be all right now.
Okay, sweet.
We just need like a fuzzy little Mad Viking thing to cover our mouths when that happens.
Like we
like
can
this
beep
little-
it out, but
Yeah,
it's loud.
there is a
somebody needs to
sensor
knit
beep on
one.
this board over here, but I'd have to like
You'd have to be able to catch us.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nate says he likes the grog. It tastes a little boozier than wine. So I guess that's a good analogy.
okay,
tastes
so
like
it's not
wine,
as
but-
dangerous because if it's boozier, then you kind of taste alcohol, which you can a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's not off-putting at all. You just taste a little nip of the alcohol. So I know what he's talking about there, because the blood honey is like dangerous, man.
It's like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it's like Welch's grape juice for big people.
Adult Welch's.
We ready for the next email question?
Oh yeah, shoot that up, man. What's
All
up?
right. How do I stop my beard from itching?
Oil.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Well, there is that.
All right, yeah. Your beard itching is just from, it could happen from new beard growth. That beard hair, the facial hair popping out of the skin can cause itching. Having a very thick and curly beard and not exfoliating properly or keeping it hydrated or all that. Avoiding harsh chemicals. Don't use products that don't have naturally derived ingredients or natural ingredients. That's a big one. A lot of people are allergic to a lot of those chemicals that are in a lot of the stuff you find at Walmart. Walmart is getting better and stores are getting better about carrying natural products, but it is what it is. Staying hydrated too, drinking enough water, staying healthy. All that plays a part into killing that beard itch. But yeah, going back to what Israel said at the beginning of the question, one of the biggest things is just beard oil. It just works. Not only does, it kind of coat your hair and condition it to prevent breakage, but it also gets down there into the skin and just makes for, perfect conditions for growing a beard. Um, Especially if there's, a lot of jojoba oil is definitely one of a good, our core, base oils in our beard oils that definitely helps with conditioning the skin.
Oh.
Kind of acts as like what sebum, your natural
Right.
sebum. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very close to natural sebum.
Yeah.
I say your wash regimen too.
Oh yeah,
comes
yeah.
into play. Depending on length and how you go about taking care of your beard, like in the shower, just in general. Like I have a personal regimen that works great for me.
Right.
Monday through Sunday.
Don't you have? I think you have a question based on that. You want to see what that one is for Israel? I think he's.
Oh yeah.
Doo-doo-doo.
Oh, this meat is great. I'm just gonna drink it all.
All right.
We just need like helmets that just have glasses.
Like
on them.
drinking helmets.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
helmets with a bottle on each side. That we.
Do you got one for Israel?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. How often should you wash your beard?
That is an excellent question. Okay. So I've said this on the Mad Viking Facebook page before. You can take it or leave it. Realistically, it comes down to, for me, and I'm going to speak completely about what I do. So if I'm in my garage working on my vehicle, I got dust, debris, garbage in it, whatever, oil, chemicals, etc. And I go to take a shower. Most of the time, I use the blackout bar for Mad Viking because it's got the activated charcoal in it. It's got uh, everything in um, that bar that I crave to have my skin feel good, have my and clean and thoroughly clean the hair. If I've been exposed to, like last year at this time, I was chainsawing like crazy. I had dust and just we had so many trees fall down around the house, but My beard actually was so coarse and dry, and my skin was horrible underneath. So I had to up my regimen. But typically, contingent on what I've exposed essentially my facial hair to or my face to, I go with one day I'll do the blackout bar. My next day I do a rinse. I don't wash it with anything. I just shower accordingly, out everything around. I just rinse the beard out. Let the natural oil take effect. The third day I use the biotin beard wash, biotin beard conditioner. The fourth day I do a rinse. The fifth day I do the beard soap again, and that kind of helps strip it away. Now, if I have a really bad day, like I was talking about that, um, working in the garage and stuff like that, I'll actually do myself a favor. I'll do the beard soap. That helps kind of strip away down to the skin, like any garbage, dirt, whatever. And then I will do the biotin beard wash, the biotin beard conditioner. But when it comes to even those products, the biotin beard conditioner, I'll put it in and I'll leave it set while I shower, maybe shave my head and everything else, and then I rinse it out to really take effect of that conditioning property that stuff gives. So, but
Yeah,
that's my personal.
that's kind of one of the most important things I think is what guys don't realize when they jump into like the bearded world and just, you know, graduating from like some stubble or maybe like a short goatee or something like that. Uh, like how do I take care of this? Like how do I maximize it, make it look its best, all that stuff.
And even if you don't go with like the things like the biotin beard wash and your conditioner, the stay away from the alcohol. Like using regular shampoos and conditioners, you need to start actually reading the ingredients. And back to the guy that said about the itch, that's you're drying out your skin underneath and you don't realize it because of the alcohol content that could be in a shampoo, conditioner, or whatever, that you're maybe using in your beard, or maybe you're not using it at all. It's just
Yeah.
residually coming down.
Yeah, and that's kind of like if it says alcohol in the ingredients, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad as well.
Correct.
You kind of just gotta Google each individual
Right.
ingredient to kind of get the down low on it.
And understand the science
Yeah,
behind it.
yeah, understand the science behind it, how it's derived, and what it's actually doing in that formula mix. So that's kind of where I feel like we shine.
Yep.
We try to use everything as much as possible, naturally derived or
No
natural,
sulfates,
straight.
no
Yeah,
parabens.
yeah. Got a couple chat questions. Jay, you want to hit those up?
Yeah, let's see where we got here. Does one corner of your stash grow quicker and longer on one side than the other? Sometimes that happens, yes. It just depends on the hair and the part of your face. Those things are possible to happen. The only thing you can do with that in that case is to trim the side that's getting a little bit longer if it bothers you that much. Or you could try you can try training it, like Israel was talking about earlier. If you're training it to go out over your lips, so to make eating and all those things, or even just for appearance, it can mend that uh, size difference to the point where you're not going to notice it. But if it's something where you want your stash to be natural and pull down and it's longer, then the only thing you can do is trim it there, and the other side will eventually probably catch up.
There are two things also that if you're a smoker, I understand. I used to smoke. I get it. Smoking, cigars, cigarettes, whatever, it kills the mustache. That constant, nicotine and the smoke coming up through it. I've seen it time and time again. The other thing is I call it the intellectual. There are people that'll come to me and they'll be like, "So my beard, it's short on this side, but it's long on this side." And I'll say, "You're left-handed."
Mhm.
And they're like, "How'd you know?" And I'm
Are you
like, "Because
picking?
you stroke your beard like this,
Mhm.
like the intellectual." You
Oh, I
know,
gotcha.
Same thing with a mustache. People they don't realize it that COVID taught you not to touch your face. Everybody's touching their face, but yeah, it's one of those things. The same thing. You don't realize that you're doing it, but you actually break the hair the more you touch your facial hair. So that's where you can end up with that ledge on the side of your beard because you're unknowingly stroking it.
We got also a guy in chat. One Feather says, "What can I use to get my stash to stay curly
Curled.
or curled?" Yeah, he just put curl. I'm assuming it's curled.
Yeah, and that's I mean that's training in mustache wax. You can use a little bit of beard balm depending on the length, but the longer it gets, you're going to need to use some training wax like the Mad Viking mustache wax. That's how you get. I know Israel's stash is a little hard to see with the red lights, but he's probably got one of the most amazing stashes almost on the planet.
You
So
can lean in really close to the camera, into your camera, so they could see what you got rocking there. You could hang a coat on that motherfucker.
Looks like you're gonna take your eye out.
Yeah,
It gets Wi-Fi.
that's nice.
so that is definitely a combination of training, um, beard oil, mustache wax, and then when he styles for competition like that, he also uses. I know he uses what got to be glued on that too. So
Yeah, half of it is you start in the center and you just work out, and then you kind of build that frame to get to the curl. But I would say the remaining half of the tines that come up, and this isn't even the longest. It's still in its growth phase two terminal. It'll go up over my hat when it's at that stage.
You keep your hat on in windy days.
Yeah.
Yeah, the going back to the gotta be glued stuff. We were at a bearded villains comp down in Nashville last weekend, and there's a couple guys in the style category that I was talking to and recommended gotta be glued because they had some just general wispiness to it. Um, and they were using I forget what wax. I don't want to talk bad about any companies or wax or anything like that. But I recommended gotta be glued, and they never even heard of it, and they
Right.
were in the stout category, which really uh is pretty crazy because I thought everybody kind of like in the beard world,
Agreed.
as far as competition goes, knows about that. But
I learned from the Johnstons.
And there are, if you have never been to a beard competition and you have questions about styling in particular, like some of these crazy mustaches that Israel's rocking, or even some of the freestyle beards that are amazing, go to a beard comp in your local area, find these guys and talk to them. They'll share any information they have with you.
Yep.
Most of them are insanely nice, and they're just happy to be around doing their thing. So they'll definitely, don't be afraid to approach those guys and ask them what they do and how they do it. They'll definitely let you know.
yeah, if you've never been to a beard comp, super good time, raise money for charity, get along, get with a bunch of people, with the same mindset. It's a really good time, and it just happens like senseless plug right here, right? We're hosting Worlds 2025 in Pittsburgh.
Gonna be epic.
You gotta be there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a time.
Well, that's like even at Monsters Ball 2020 here at the warehouse. You want to talk about helping people out? What I helped Steve Meredith down the hallway style his stash for full beard style mustache category. Asked him if he trusts me. Trimmed off the one side because it was longer, and he beat me. He got first and I got second.
That's great. But yeah, that's the thing. That's what it's all about. Just kind of having a good time with your fellow beardsmen,
Oh yeah,
I love
and
Steve. Sharing tips and tricks and just raising money for charity. I mean, that's kind of the bearding in a nutshell, right?
Yep.
All right, 2K, hit us up. What you got over there, buddy?
Should I use beard butter?
Yes. Depending on the length of your beard, that's the short answer. Yes. When your beard gets long enough. Beard butter is a little bit different. It's almost like the new kid on the block when it comes to beard products. It's kind of a mix between beard balm and beard oil. It's got more butters in it than a beard balm does, and it doesn't have the addition of wax. So it's really soft. That's why it's called butter, because when you put it in your hand, it almost immediately melts. And that's how you're going to apply it. So when you get your beard longer, you need more hydration in your beard. And that's beard butter's purpose. Now the butters in there, the shea butters and mango butters and whatever, depending on the brand that you're into, those do a really good job of soaking in and hydrating into the skin. Where beard butter is different than beard balm is beard butter doesn't offer as much hold as beard balm, but it does, in my opinion, a better job of conditioning your beard. So it works really, really well when you get a beard, even my length, a medium length beard, especially at night, like before you go to bed. If you apply a decent amount of beard butter into your beard, it's going to soak in pretty quick, but it doesn't have any wax in it. So it's not, you don't have that waxy feel while you're, trying to go to sleep, but it works really well as an overnight leave-in conditioner. is if we weren't going to call it beard butter, that's what we would call it, a leave-in conditioner. So as your beard grows, it gets longer. If you have a stubble beard, not so much. You're not going to need any beard butter. But once you get, to it's like a 3-month mark, like an inch and a half beard, you're going to, even just a little bit of that in the evenings is going to make a huge difference in the manageability of your beard the next morning, even when you go to brush it out, apply your oil, and get ready for your day. You can also use it like I do. Again, I have a really coarse, wiry beard. So I'll get my shower. I'll put in beard oil after I get out of the shower. I'll finish getting ready, let that beard oil do its thing for 10, 15 minutes before I leave the house. I'll apply beard butter at that
Right.
point, and it just helps me with a little bit of that softness that my beard lacks personally. So that's how I use it. And then I'll use it again at night in the summertime, especially. Like if I'm sweating a lot or something, I like to put it in too. So
Yeah, I think butter's great for guys with, medium to long length beards. I think, our experience, that's what guys prefer. Even going back, looking into chat here, Brian Tyler has a super long goatee. He's won a bunch of goatee titles and stuff like that. And he just said, quote, as a longer beard, I prefer the butter. It just works better, in that.
I'm the opposite.
Really?
If I compete, I'm doing balm.
Get out of here. You're
Yep.
banned.
Every time.
for competition,
Yep.
I can see using
Yeah.
balm for competition
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
I'm just
especially yours because of the fact that I can still go like this in
Right.
front of the judge and get it to sway.
Mhm.
Butter, because of its conditioning property with my beard, because of the poof factor instead of a reined in factor.
I gotcha.
So it's more of a style.
More
I go with the
controlled.
styled stash control.
Yeah.
For me, that's why with the length that I go with the balm. But to Jay's point, I do use butter daily, every night. And I would say anybody that's never tried butter, do a little bit, get it melted down, work it in through the beard and the stash. If you wake up in a oil puddle on your pillowcase, you've used too much. But you that's the way
And
that
a little bit goes a long way
Yeah,
with
a
our
little
beard
bit
butter. You don't
does
have
go
to
a long
overdo it.
way.
Yeah, you
Just
don't have to dive in it.
I
another
literally
important thing to do is make sure you're brushing your beard really well
Yep.
before after you apply it to work
Yeah,
it in and really give it a
distribution.
chance.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
use
really
a good
important.
horsehair brush. Definitely.
So like Scuba Steve 84 here in chat. Speaking of sleeping with beards, as you just mentioned, is beard oil okay to apply before bedtime? Um, I don't see why not. I would personally, just because of my pillowcases and all get good stuff, that's kind of why we created like the beard and body lotion. That's what I use as a nighttime. Like if I take a shower at night or whatever, I'll just pop that in because it soaks in super fast and you're just sleeping in bed. So you don't have to, have a balm and a beard oil and all that in, and you won't get any greasiness. So that's kind of where that product shines for most people. But yeah, you can use a beard oil for sure. I'm sure guys do it all the time.
Well, get it to the skin where it where it essentially goes a lot. For
Sure.
me personally, I think beard oil is kind of like a misnomer. Yes, it's for beard growth, but it's technically to get it down to the skin, to the follicles, to the hair. And I've been using your guys' product since 2019.
Hmm.
I have yet to throw out a pillowcase. I have yet to have it look like an oil spot, or
Yeah, but
rinse up or anything.
you kind of know like the right proportion to use, right?
Well, that's a learning phase, right?
Right,
and,
right.
and that there again, I will say anybody that's tuning in, or even once this finishes the recording and you watch this in the future sometime, um, start off with just a little, because less is more. I mean, case in point, when I use your beard balm and or the biotin beard wash and conditioner, literally it's a quarter size to do all of this to have it suds up. Same thing with the butter. Jay hit the nail on the head with it. It's literally I'll load up the backside of my fingernail and that's it, and that does all of this
Mhm.
because it a little goes a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
And Nate's on. Hey, Nate. Nate wants to know if your beard grows super slow. Is trimming an option to help it grow, or just let it grow naturally? And I'm going to trimming your beard from the end that is already grown is not going to make it grow any faster.
Nope.
Your hair grows from the skin out. And I mean, I know it seems silly to say that, but sometimes we have to think about that. We think if we trim our beard, it's going to make it grow faster. That is not the case. Your beard is going to grow at the rate it grows at. There's other things you can do. Again, goes back to hydration, sleep cycles, proper nutrition intake, things like that, age, genetics. Those, but you can with vitamins and your diet and water affect that. But trimming it is not going to make it grow faster. It will make it healthier and keep it healthier because you're getting rid of split ends, and you can prevent breakage and things like that by trimming it. So it is a really good idea to trim your beard from time to time, but it's just not going to help it grow faster.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like we did get an email question about that, about how I can speed up my beard growth, and you kind of can, but at the same time you kind of can't. You know, we could say genetics all the time, but for the most part, it's just like balanced diet, regular exercise, adequate sleep, minimize your stress, and just proper beard care. Take care of it. So especially like when you exercise promotes like testosterone, right, Zach?
Yep.
Zach is a gym rat. You can.
I used to be. I haven't been as consistent as I've been in the past.
You should show him your guns.
No, it's all good. I got to get a pump first before I do all that.
Right.
But I did notice my mustache started growing in a little bit thicker when I started going to the gym more often.
Definitely, you're just getting that boost of testosterone that comes with regular exercise. All those things, not only do they lead to beard health, they lead to personal health. And once you, I mean, that's the most important thing for any person. Like, I would take health over anything else that you could acquire in this lifetime. That's the most important thing. But
Yeah, emotional, physical, mental health is big in hair. Doesn't matter whether it's facial hair or even on the top of your head. I mean, people will lose their when they say, "Oh, I'm losing my hair." It's on the top of their head. Or they're stressed out. They don't like their job or whatever. It's the
right,
same. Our bodies, that's how they respond to certain things.
So I wanted to touch on something with the beard oil real quick that Matt brought up in the chat, saying for guys that don't know, how many pumps of the oil do you use? It's not about the pumps of the oil. It's about when you put that oil under your hand. It's about, for a beard like mine, which is right now, it hovers right around 4.5 inches, right from my bottom lip. I'm using less than a dime size after I get out of the shower. So I'm using a very small amount. I just take my time and work it in. With a beard like Israel's, it might be a little bit, like maybe the size of a dime when he rubs it in. So it's not so much how many pumps you put in. It's just about gauging it in your palm of your hand before you warm it up and apply it.
Well, that's the whole goopity goop versus the spray.
The goopity goop tip.
yeah,
Because the pump spray, I'll tell you what, muscle memory wise, I could do it blindfolded.
Sure, but
it was like I had 5 points on the jawline, one here in the stash, and then just right on the fingertips a slight bit. I would rub my fingertips together, come up underneath, and because again, to your point, you're just getting it to the skin.
right.
So a dime size. Think of how much, if you didn't have a beard, how much oil would you use to cover where your beard is covering on your face?
Right.
There's your answer.
Mhm.
At least for me.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a lot. So.
Right.
right. Yeah, Brian Tyler in chat says the recent conversations about the beard growth benefits of cutting alcohol is a primary reason I'm cutting back and working towards quitting.
Nobody likes a quitter.
No, actually, as far as alcohol consumption goes,
it's like moderation though.
Yeah, you could
right?
you could definitely do it in moderation, and that's what I personally started to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Jay over here has kind of led the charge in that. We did have a few drinks last weekend, but I think up to that point, you hadn't drank in a couple of months, man, right?
I've had one drinking day since New Year's, so one drinking day out of the last almost 70 days.
Right.
And to clarify, I never said I was going to quit drinking forever. I just set a goal, and I wanted to make sure that I had my shit together, because Jay does not, me as in Jay, me, does not do anything in moderation. So
Right.
that's my problem. So I need to learn moderation. And for now, learning moderation is abstinence from that for the most part. So, but I applaud you for doing it, man. I have noticed, actually, even in the last 70 days, some changes in my skin health, my beard health,
Totally.
things like that already. So I don't think you're being led astray by thinking that.
Agreed.
All right. What else you got over there, 2K?
Right. First off, I just want to say what's up, Six String Stanger. My dad's in the chat.
Oh, that's your dad?
Yep.
Is that 3K or 1K?
No K.
No
actually.
K.
Well, 1K.
Well, it looks like
last name. That's it.
Well, dad would be 2D, so we can call him 2D.
Double D.
Yeah. Well, he's not a girl, so let's just call him 2D.
Right. So the next question is: I've heard of beard balm, but what is its purpose?
All right. You have heard of beard balm, especially if you've ever talked to us. Beard balm is basically beard oil with the addition of butters and waxes. And the reason we add the butters in is just like, or I'm sorry, yeah, the natural butters in is just like our beard butter. It helps the hair, it helps the skin, it does a lot of things. The purpose of the the beeswax that we add is twofold. Number one, it helps lock in some of that and hold it in against the skin and the hairs. It also can make the hairs feel smoother and kind of coat the hair. So when you brush them, you can tend to see less tangles and breakage and things like that. The other main benefit is that it offers just a little bit of hold. It's not like putting a pomade or a mousse or a gel or a hairspray in your beard. It still feels very natural, but it just helps keep some of those flyaways. If sometimes I get these guys down here that kind of doing their own thing. A little bit of beard balm in my beard takes care of that whole thing. Um, Again, with the really short beard, beard balm is probably not going to be on your radar of things that you need to get. Stick with beard oil. But as it gets a little bit of length, you're going to want to add either beard balm or beard butter or both in your arsenal, depending on what you're doing. I do use beard balm when again, like Israel, when I want it to hold shape a little bit better, I'll use a little bit of beard balm over the butter. So, and you can use it every day. That's the great part. You can use it with the beard oil, the same way as you use a butter. You can do all those same things. It's not gonna be bad for your beard. So you can use it every day, but that's the main difference of beard balm, and that's why it's good with the waxes and butters in it.
Zach, are you a beard butter or balm guy?
I'm definitely a butter guy. I used
Butter.
balm today for the first time in a very long time, though. So I will say that.
I like the retaining of the moisture factor of the balm too.
Mhm.
There's sometimes where like cuz I'll dry my beard 90-95%, get my oil on my skin, brush it, and then I'll apply the balm and I feel like it actually locks in moisture
Yeah.
into the hair. So not only does it help keep the flyaways at bay, it also helps it just feels so hydrated. The first I remember distinctively in 2000 summer of 2019, I bought Ladderock and Odin's beard balm and beard oil. I just went all in on the 2 ounces, right? Within 2 weeks, I remember telling my wife, I noticed a distinct difference in my beard between the hydration, the healthiness, the way that I was able to start training it to get it to hang. Night and day difference.
I agree. Locking the moisture in is a huge benefit with the
Definitely.
beeswax.
And you can do that also with the butter, to your point, like at night
Correct.
conditioning, if you do a 90-95% dry on the beard, that will also lock in the conditioner or that hydration as well. But to Big J's point, hydration is also not only from the outside, it's also from the inside, water intake. And yes, coffee has water, alcohol has water, but actually drinking water.
It's fucking bad water.
Yeah.
It's fucking bad water, dude. But I actually had a guy one time tell me he's a welder. He's like, I usually got this balm all the time, and wasn't using a mask, like wears goggles, and it wasn't protecting his beard. He's like, it just bounces off,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I don't think it does that. Like,
But I've heard that before too from people that weld or use torch or grinding wheels and
Yeah.
stuff to shoot the sparks. I've heard before that it and I'm not saying that we make iron shields for beards, but I have heard that it
Wouldn't
makes
that
a
be-
difference.
that'd be fucking rad.
It would be
Fire
pretty cool.
retardant beards.
Right.
It would
Yeah,
be
fire
pretty cool.
retardant beard.
Oh my gosh, we just started off a whole YouTube
It's
debacle with
a
that
TikTok challenge.
Yeah. TikTok challenge. Okay,
Yeah,
everybody.
guys sitting their beards on fire. They like load up with balm and they're like torching, and it's just the flames are just going.
All you got-
Maybe.
Yeah, all you need is a extension cord. Cut the one end off of it. Have a switch on it. Plug it into the wall. Take a garbage bag. Fill it up with propane. Stick the cord in there. Wrap it, and then flip the switch.
Right.
and see if your beard holds up.
That's funny, dude. That's messed up.
What's up, Sue W? That's my Aunt Wendy.
Hey, Wendy's on the podcast.
Yup.
Does she get a nickname? What's her nickname? That's 2D. You're 2K.
I don't know. I mean, what could her nickname be? Wendy.
We're gonna stumble on this for a while.
Yeah, that's true. We ready for this last question? Or we're gonna wait for Hole to get back.
Oh yeah, we could take another question.
Gotcha. I think this is the last one that we have here.
Right on.
So, does your beard stop growing?
It seems like it, doesn't it?
Yep.
I mean, from personal, just like, hey, my beard's not growing anymore. But actually, your beard's always growing. Your beard's always growing. Every little single hair has its own life cycle. It could take anywhere from a year to up to 6 years. Talking back when we were talking about terminal growth earlier, um, you never know when it's going to stop until it stops, and you feel like it isn't growing anymore. That's the time. That's what that's what terminal length is. So I would say no, it doesn't stop growing, but it may seem like it to some guys. It might only take some guys like 6 months or something like that, and they're like, my beard won't grow anymore. And it's just not the case. Your beard's always replacing itself. So there's like beard phases. I think we have a good blog article on this. What's the first phase? Anagen phase? Yeah, the first phase is like the anagen phase. That's like the active growth phase where your hair just keeps growing. It's coming out, growing strong. Like I said, that can last anywhere from like 2 to 6 years. Some guys have it unfortunate, and 6 months are done. That's all they can grow. The next phase is a catagen phase, I think. It doesn't last very long. It's like a 2 to 3 week, kind of like it's where the hair follicle, like underneath your layer of skin, that hair follicle will kind of like dissipate and shrink. And that's what causes, it's kind of like the end of the life cycle for your hair. And that's when those hairs will fall out and shed. It's kind of like your shedding phase. And then there's like a third and fourth phase, the telogen and the exogen, I believe it is. And those phases, like a lot of people say, those are kind of phases that are together, but basically it's just like the resting phase, and it's like 3 to 4 months where nothing's coming in, and then all of a sudden you go straight back to that anagen phase. So those hairs that fell out, a few months ago will start pump through again, and that's why once you get your terminal length, it seems like your beard's not growing anymore, but it actually is your whole entire life cycle. Your beard's growing. So I hope that answers it. Yeah.
Barefoot Brain says chops are the best form of facial hair. I am not one to disagree with Mr. Barefoot Brain. So,
well, we get another.
He just likes Wolverine.
Yeah. We have another chopper in here, Joe Barone.
Yeah.
He used to, compete and be in the 8 to 12 inch category. Had a pretty good solid beard, but I think he even put in chat, he has that natural split. A lot of these guys have fork beards type of deal where it grows strong underneath, but not so much in the middle. They still get that middle beard growth, but it's kind of like they're always pushing their beard together to keep it in one, to get that split away. And he actually said that he shaved down the chops. And that's his style. Yeah.
That goes back to the earlier question, like what style should I go with, right? So, case in point, Joe Barone has the fork beard, and he realizes that kind of goes against and when you're competing, right? Because if you're going for full beard, we all know, for those of us that competed, that if you have a fork beard, it's not looking well for you. So he decided to go with that, and he actually looks great with the chops. So
yeah, he's definitely a good chops guy.
Agreed.
Interested to see how far he takes that. He's gonna have to compete up against Michael Wallage and guys like Barefoot, and we met a couple chops guys last weekend down at the Villains Comp. It was kind of cool.
Chops guys rock their chops with the utmost pride, and I love them for it.
Yeah, a ton of fervor.
Yes,
Just
they're all. I mean, and I think it's awesome. I mean, that's what it goes back to, being confident in what you have, and finding your style. And a lot of chops guys are unique in the way that they found their style, and that's me, man, and I'm doing it. So gotta love y'all.
I think the whalers do that too, but on a different level.
Yeah,
They're
but
like
nobody
a
likes a whaler.
like a
So
panda level, Just they fall into trees and things like that.
Yeah, I have like a natural split in my beard, but I try to keep it as disguised as possible. Usually when the wind blows, it'll split out each side, but
I've never noticed that. That's interesting.
yeah,
yeah, I didn't notice it either. You do a good job with it.
thank you.
I would have never. I mean, usually I can pick out a fork beard. I would have never. Now I'm gonna be like constantly looking at you,
Yeah.
waiting for the wind to blow.
Oh yeah, I have a few pictures of myself in the wind, and it's just like perfectly down the middle, split across my face. It's
Nice.
Well, I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier today and telling him about the show, and we were talking about riding the bike. So, and he rides his bike all the time, and he has a beard and he braids it, or ties it up. But the one thing, just like combing your hair and having that part in your hair form, or even as your shape or your beard's growing longer and you're training it to grow and hang off your face, with the gravity of the weight of the hair. Riding a bike without anything, like I told him, get a hoo rag from Mad Viking or a bandana or something, or, because the wind blowing against it will form that natural part. And then eventually over time, you're training your hair to be parted.
And a lot of times when I ride, I wear a hoo-rag. Number one, for the reason you said, and number two, it helps prevent breakage.
Yep.
A lot of guys that ride constantly, their beards are broke when they just
Mhm.
because it catches the wind and it obviously naturally breaks. So
Like thunder.
let's talk like robots.
all right.
All right.
Tomo Romigato, Mr. Roboto.
Optimus Sealand.
Not sure how to make all this robots, to be honest.
No robot for me.
Do what? They can hear it, but I
Yes.
don't know if we can. Oh,
I can hear it.
So Justin in chat wants to know just dies ? And that's a very polarizing question. I hear people groaning and sighing in this room even.
Yeah.
The thing of it is there are dyes that you can use. You just got to be really careful.
Yeah. Make sure the ingredients are as naturally derived as they possibly can be. There might be a few companies out there that offer that. I know the Just for Men shit are beard burners. Uh, we've proven it. We've tested some of that stuff out in the past. It's actually something that we're thinking about offering, a possibility. Won't happen soon, but we have tested some of that stuff out, and I think it's a good possibility. But yeah, they're either people are either for it or against it.
Definitely. And the big thing of it is don't be afraid to just rock the thunder and lightning. There's nothing wrong with the lightning strips.
Yeah, it's kind of like do what works for you, right?
Exactly. And it's just. But to Jay's point, if you're going to read the ingredients, read the reviews, pay attention, follow the directions, make sure, because you can scorch. I mean, you don't do it right, you can scorch your skin, you cause yourself serious harm with some of that stuff if you don't pay attention and do it properly, or you use something with bad ingredients in it. So just be careful if you're going to do that.
Yeah,
That's a
definitely.
lot of people have asked me if I dye my mustache
Mhm.
because it comes in naturally blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
In the
looks a
summertime,
little
it
bit
gets
lighter.
really light.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And my answer is always the same. No, because one, that's near I would be stripping right essentially the hair underneath my nasal passage, which is really bad. But two, I would not have a mustache this long if I was using that type of product because it would just deteriorate the hair and it would just break. So the answer is no. It's just genetics. There are some people that have. I've seen some killer beards where super jet black with a white stripe, like ghost white stripe in the middle, and things like that.
And here's another point to that with the thunder and lightning. Gray hair actually can repigment.
Yep.
Stress will cause gray hairs, like hair loss.
Mhm.
It's the same thing. But by the same token, changing your lifestyle to be healthier and taking care of stress and taking care of those things to take care of your body as an entire organism can actually help your hair repigment. My hair, I'm one of those weird people where if I'm having a really stressful couple of weeks, I get a lot of gray around my cheeks. But as I get through that and I center myself and get back into my groove, a lot of that hair will repigment, whether it falls out and repigmented hair grows, or if that hair repigments itself is remains to be seen for me. But I do know that I notice a difference especially when I'm in my stress levels. So there's a little something for you.
That's interesting.
A little something.
That's news to me.
Mhm.
I like it. I like learning new beard stuff.
Plus,
Allows me to help educate others.
I think rice bran oil also helps promote, repigmentation.
Actually, yeah,
in certain
it's
people.
been known to definitely help with repigmentation.
Rice bran oil.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I don't know why the rice-a-roni gin just went off inside my head.
Because you're a Gen X guy. That's why.
I saw the little trolley and everything.
Rice Roni, the San Francisco treat.
Yep. Rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. Bing, bing.
Wait, do we get all those questions, Zach? Or we got two?
Yeah, we
got a
got
couple
them
more?
all, man.
Yeah, it's all of them.
We got all of our
Alright.
email questions.
Damn.
Do you guys got anything in chat for us? Any questions, comments, concerns? Anything about the brand? Hey, Nick on a stick.
Anybody want to see Nick on a stick real quick?
Nick on a stick.
Where is he? Might say, wait. Oh, look at the halo around him. He's such an angel. Nick on a stick. All right.
Did Nick join us today? I don't know if I.
Yeah, he was in there.
He was in earlier.
Yeah, he was
Right
in.
on.
He plugged his code.
Oh, we're allowed to do that?
No.
No, not really. But we can,
No, I'm not that person. I can't do that.
Well, I think
I-
after Monday you won't have a code anymore. You have a link.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll have your own
that's
page.
right.
Yeah, you'll have your own page and everything.
Be able to kick that out.
Yeah, once we get this tested.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good system. We're just kind of working out a couple of kinks that we have. I do have 3 or 4 people in there now testing it out. You're testing it out.
Yep.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
What?
I mean, I know that my code was still a thing because somebody will ask me questions and they're like, well, how do I order? And then I'll give them I jump online real quick to make sure my code works.
Mhm.
So I punch it into the shopping, like pick something, punch it in the shopping cart, shows up as, 15%
Oh,
off.
I gotcha.
And then I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can give them the code knowing it's still live.
I gotcha.
There you go. There's a question for you, Jay. Jacked Up Leatherworks. What's the pH level in the beard wash?
Deep. Thanks for asking that because I do not remember that information offhand. And I don't have it in front of me.
Let's go out to the
Chaotic
warehouse.
neutral.
we kind of have it. We actually kind of have it spec'd out to like 5.5, 6.5, roughly. Pretty much to be as close as to what your body naturally is. I think is the right way to go about it.
Yeah, I think it's a little closer to 5.5.
Yeah.
But again, don't quote me. I mean, you can email me or I can shoot you a message. I know who you are, and I can find out that information for sure and let you know.
We'll actually go stick it.
And then we just got. Do you think that a costume with your beard helps when you're at a beard competition?
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
Let Israel answer that, but
that is it depends on I believe it depends on the competition because there are certain competitions where I feel there's like this standard. I remember being at nationals And the MC was like, "Well, you're kind of a rocker." And I had my vest on, black shirt underneath it, kilt, combat boots, black kilt socks.
Pink
Um,
panties.
oh, I had the monster. Yeah, no, that would make it a dress, not a kilt. Um, and the Monster Ball skate deck, if you remember, because I was plugging those for Monsters Ball. But that was kind of like a hybrid. If you look, I would say go back and just look at some of the previous competitions that have, I mean, because they're always on Facebook, and look at what people wear and go from there. Because some, like, what is it? Is it Whisker Mania? That one was all like wrestler themed,
Yeah, the one down in Kentucky.
and that was, I never made it to that, but that one looked fun as hell. But that was all wrestler themed, so it was kind of like you went into it with a theme. Me wearing a kilt, I definitely would have went
Right.
Roddy Piper. Um,
It definitely does help. Especially when, like I said, going back to Worlds, you go to Worlds in a t-shirt and jeans versus something all
Yep.
done up that complements your beard style. Like you're just going to naturally score better.
Yep.
It all plays a part. It really does.
Yeah, it's the presentation. The beard is what you're presenting, but everything else is adorning that facial hair to make the presentation 100% um, complete. So, but I would say if you're really interested in going into a beard competition, reach out to anybody that's competed before, or even on Facebook, go back and look at some of the previous events and some of the pictures from those events and see what category that you would be going in and what they were wearing and things of that nature.
So, Barefoot Brains wants to know, and I think we just go around the horn with this one. What's everyone's favorite scent? It's a two-part question. Start with you, 2K.
Right now, I'm using Hollow, and I think that's probably at least in my top three, I would say. My number one all-time favorite was Bloodborne, but it's gone now. So,
I got a bootleg bottle for you.
hell yeah.
It's still in its wrapper with the old pump spray, not the goopity goop.
Oh, I don't want it then.
I bet those blood orange bottles are going for like hundo a piece on eBay or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, going back to the, discontinuation of Sense, we don't plan to do that much more in the future or anything like that. We just feel like we needed an upgrade, and we just took our lowest 3 cents that we sell, and we replaced it with something that we thought would just be awesome. So far the results are great. Reviews are in and all good stuff. But yeah, that's kind of the reason why we did that.
What's your favorite scent, Jay?
Favorite scent? I'm kind of if I look at everything that we've created, I love Monier. I just love it. It was the original scent that we should have been first before Berserker, but it wasn't for various reasons. Um, but now with the new scents we're making, I love Drink Air. Uh, really good vibe to that. Fenrir's equally up there in Axe and Oak. Those ones are really, really at the top of my list with my Monier. Um, and then we're working on either a scent change for Yggdrasil or discontinuing Yggdrasil and coming up with a new scent and name. Maybe we should run a poll on that or something like that, huh?
There you go.
That'd be interesting.
All right.
Or even run a poll as to the what you're planning on. Like, hey, we want to take it this way, or
Right.
take it that way.
So
And like more woodsy or more this.
yeah, we can elaborate on that. Zach's putting up the poll, but basically our idea was to take Yggdrasil and kind of put more of a smoky woods type scent into it with a little bit of spiciness. And we've got a very, very nice scent, without a doubt. But we don't know whether we change Yggdrasil, keep the name, or we come up with a new name that I actually woke up to this morning bouncing around in my head. And sometimes that's how, good and bad ideas happen. But we were thinking about calling it Hammer and Throne. So anybody out in the beard care world, if you name your stuff that, I'm gonna beat you up because it's my idea first. But Yeah, that's kind of like what we're thinking about going back and forth between, discontinuing Drazo and coming out with Hammer and Throne under that new scent profile that we have, or putting that new scent profile as Yggdrasil and, kind of changing the scent.
Israel, favorite scent?
Out of the new 3
No,
Out of all of them.
all
out
of
of
them.
all of them,
Favorite scent?
okay. Before Mad Viking, I was a cologne whore, and what that meant was I had a ton of different colognes, and it's all what kind of personality was, bubbling out of my head that morning when I woke up. So literally, and I'll share it sometime maybe on Facebook or on my Instagram. I have a smorgasbord of Mad Viking oils and everything on because I don't know what kind of attitude I'm going to have until I actually wake up. And that's all indicative on what I'm putting on my face to help me carry me through the day. But for me, I have top 3. It's literally they're all first place for me because they're always my go-tos. Is Odin's Rook. That was one of the first ones that I've tried, and I've to this day still love it. Valhalla. If I'm going out with the missus, she digs that scent. It's got the wood scent to it, but it's got that vanilla side to it. And Raven Rom, because you can't go wrong with a nice classic barbershop scent that just it smells clean, it's invigorating. I feel like I just, came out of a I've had my head shaved with the hot soap and the razor and so every time I put that on, it takes me back
Mhm.
to that guy that I can't even his name was like this long and he was from the Baltic states. Can't even pronounce it, but yeah, it smells just like that day.
Awesome.
And
Nice.
that sensory memory is always like one of those things for me, which is why I'm sad to see Ladder Rock go because it always reminded me of my first baseball glove, first leather jacket. But all good things must
It's
end so
not where
that
I thought you
new
were going
things
with that.
can burn.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I was going to take it to a weird place.
Yeah, I thought it was getting weird.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
sorry.
See, but that's why I like Valhalla. Like, it takes me back to 2019 when I went to VidCon for the second time. I wore that every day I was there. So now it's just every time I put it on, just take me
Reminds you
back.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, smells are super crazy, man. You can not smell something for 20 years and smell it again, and you'll just remember a time in your life.
Which is why I can't wear Berserker.
Valhalla on that. Valhalla is that was the second part of the question. Our
Yeah.
most popular scent right now is Valhalla,
Definitely.
but I can tell you with these new ones coming out,
It's going to change.
it's probably gonna change. And on that note, my favorite has always been Berserker until we put out these new ones. And yeah, Drengir is my go-to now. So
Actually,
Fenrir's creeping to the
Axe
top.
and
Yeah.
Oak is working its way up in the ranks for me.
That's what I have in today.
That's what I have into but because I only have the oil, what I did was the oil, but then used engined off for the balm.
Right.
So or like if I want to wear cologne, then I use and I don't know if I pronounced that right. I botched the names, but yeah, I'll use unscented biotin beard wash and conditioner and then the unscented oil and unscented balm or unscented butter, and then I'm able to wear my cologne and not have that clash where I feel like the Kaufman's perfume cologne section.
Yeah, you could definitely get some like what we call like a scent confusion or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's why we are looking at creating deodorant, and that is coming for sure, definitely. Um, and cologne as well. Everything that we just want you to be able to have everything, scent wise, right down the middle. As far as cologne, deodorants, beard oil, balm, shampoos, all the good stuff.
But the Axe and Oak is I feel for me is like a garage scent. I don't know. There's just something like when I smell it. There's times where I get these parts where I've smelled that smell before dropping a transmission out of a vehicle or
Yeah, you could just
working.
like
It's just got this working man scent to it that I'm like again.
I was just
Sensory.
gonna say, please don't tell me it smells like transmission fluid.
No,
I'm only kidding.
It doesn't
I'm only
smell like
kidding.
gear
No,
oil. It doesn't. When you take all those scents of a garage that combine
I was
and
gonna say like
wood
drop a
and this and that and
transmission
everything, it's the scent of a garage, like of a working man. That's the only
No, I
way
got
I
you.
can categorize
I got you.
Yeah, I was gonna say like drop a transmission, punch a hole in drywall, and go start a campfire.
it. And
Raise a
swing
car.
beer.
Yeah, swing a
Yeah.
beer. Just swing a
Swing
beer.
a beer. Tell somebody here, hold my beer. Watch how it's done.
It's like the party scent then. The party workout, working scent, chopping wood,
Yep.
Right.
everything.
But if I know it's a garage day for me, I wear that. It's just because it just screams working man.
Where are we at with our poll there, 2K?
Oh yeah.
New scent or keep it Yggdrasil.
There's only 11
Looks
votes.
like 82% new scent.
Yeah, that's a big decision maker. You guys are gonna
Yeah.
make the decision too, so
I mean, there's 22 people in here. We only have 11 votes. So.
vote on the poll. New scent called Hammer and Throne, or keep the scent named Yggdrasil with the actual new scent.
We need some Jeopardy music.
I think that'd
be awesome.
That would be awesome, but I think that would be
YouTube strike.
some sort of copyright infringement on some way, shape, or form.
We've gotten
You'd
so
have to
many
change
YouTube
the-
strikes in the last 2 episodes, it doesn't even matter.
What we need, or what you guys need, is an old school Casio tone.
Oh
where
yeah,
it just boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
that'll be your theme music. He can't copyright that shit, right? It's just a couple of
Yeah, I
like
don't
beat
think so.
boops.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to build a soundboard here.
Or we can just pretend we're like Patrick Star and
How many-
SpongeBob in the box, pretending we're blasting off to space and making beep bop noises.
I think we got 8 quick pads for like
and then there's
sounds.
also pages you can swap. So.
Like it's page swap too with
Yeah.
your sounds. Yeah, we should build a soundboard for us. That'd be funny. Jacked Up Leatherwork says, "Don't forget to smash that like button."
That's right.
Yeah, smash it.
Thanks for reminding us to tell people to like and subscribe, everybody, because we're terrible at it.
Yeah, we just kind of started this YouTube stuff, and we decided just to go live and answer some questions and get all that out of the way. We don't know where we're gonna take this,
Right.
but it should get interesting in the future for sure.
Oh yeah.
Take it on tour. We'll start going to malls and interviewing people.
They did actually just add mobile live, so you can like go live from your cell phone now
Oh no kidding!
on YouTube.
Oh, that's crazy.
So,
But then we would just all go live at the same time on our phones in the studio.
You know, you guys stay in the studio, and then like you have somebody out in the field, and you're like, back to you. You know,
oh, yeah.
like it's like storming at McConnell's Mills, and there's flooding and everything, and they're just talking to hikers about their beer journey.
It's 80. It's holding steady. The poll's holding steady, buds.
Holding steady.
Man.
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling. So
I will tell you, if you go with what you said as the scent profile,
yeah,
I'm going to be all over that.
do you
Because
have that mixed up here? Did you take it home?
I know I
Mine's at
have.
home.
Yeah, I know I have a bottle of. I don't think I have any here at the moment.
Okay, I was gonna say we can yeah.
Uh,
Maybe after this we can mix something up.
Yeah, we don't like to make a lot of stuff when we're trying, just in case we don't like it. Or,
Right.
Right.
wasting all those essentials and so forth.
Well,
Yeah,
the
but
essentials plus the carriers and
Yeah.
everything else.
the one I got, whoa, man, so good. It's not cologne, but you can smell a little bit of the spice, the birch, but there's like a smoky sandalwood to it, a little bit of pine, but it's not like a commercial like.
Kind of flashback to Monty Python's I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. He puts on women's clothing just like his dear mama.
There was a kid when I was in high school that would sing that song every day on the school bus.
What?
I'm telling you.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I've never heard it.
No, it's insane. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You've never heard that song?
No, dude.
Oh, another Gen X thing.
Well,
I've never heard it either. So
Well,
that makes
I'm
sense
like
for
twice
me.
your age.
Yeah, right. Have you ever heard Ram Ranch though?
Ranch?
Ram Ranch.
Ram Ranch.
I can't
I've heard
believe.
Ramrod, as in car Ramrod, but
Yeah, that's Reaper's theme song, Ram Ranch.
oh boy.
We definitely couldn't play that on YouTube, dude.
No,
Oh
that's
yeah.
We'd definitely get fucking banned for
I
that.
mean, you guys can go look it up though. It's a bop.
Yeah, definitely. You won't find it on any radio station. I guarantee that too.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe.
What was that one song back then too? Something about looked in the drawer and I stuttered to laugh. Happy Boy. You were talking about one person on the bus. There was somebody that was on DVE used to play it all the time, and it was the Happy Boy song, and we were on the bus every day, and we had the coolest bus driver ever. And this bus driver would just play DVE, and that song would come on, and everybody on the bus was singing the Happy Boy song. It's like, I'm a happy boy, happy boy.
they still play that from time to time. Actually,
Really?
Yep.
Oh, such a great song. I want that. I want that song played at my funeral.
deal.
I want a Viking.
Fucking be
funeral.
careful what you ask
Yeah,
for, dude.
I want a Viking. Well,
That's happening.
it's either that or Pop Goes the Weasel.
You want a Viking funeral? I got a blow up raft. We got this, buddy.
Yeah,
Like
you
the-
can use my kayak.
There you
Like
go.
the third base
Let it
Pop
rip.
Goes the Weasel?
What?
Like the third base Pop Goes the Weasel?
Like where
Yeah,
you pop
like-
out of the casket?
Yeah, like
Also, like the
want them to
actual
play
old
Pop-
school song.
The old school song
Okay.
Pop Goes the Weasel
Alright.
that was on the old,
Yeah.
Jack in the Box.
But
Because
do-
I want everybody thinking that I'm gonna pop out of the casket.
But we're gonna rig
Yeah.
it so you do if we're there.
That would be awesome. Like have me on hydraulics.
Yeah.
He just shoots into the
Like-
rafters.
Like slowly come up, then go back down as like it's going through the motions.
We can just put some airbags under your casket or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just put me on a catapult, and catapult me onto the vessel, and then you'll have somebody with a flaming arrow cast me off, and boom.
Would that be a good like commercial for us for Mad Viking?
I think so.
Yeah, it'd be entertaining. It'd be funny.
Down at Point State Park in Pittsburgh, they'd love that.
We should do it.
It's either that or rain.
The water's 3 foot deep. You wouldn't even sink.
Uh,
You're like, well, now we got to go clean Israel up.
yeah.
All right, I think we got all the questions, guys.
Yeah, I think we're about ready to wrap this up. Answered all the questions we got from email this week. Also answered everything in chat. If you guys have anything else, let us know. But we'll be wrapping this up in a couple minutes.
Yeah, and then we want to come back next week, right?
Yeah, I think we'll be here about the same time next week.
Yep.
That sound good? I don't think. Yeah, Wednesday's pretty clear.
All right.
Or Thursday. I
Thursday,
mean,
buddy.
yeah. Woo. Yeah. It's been that kind of week.
Well, this is the longest one that we've had, so
Yeah,
That's my
An hour
fault.
and
I
40
talk too
minutes.
much.
that's
no,
all
it's all good. It's all good.
That's kind of the purpose of a podcast is to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you on more, man. It was good to see you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Always-
Thanks for stopping by.
Always enjoy coming up to the warehouse and seeing your beautiful faces and getting my hug in.
Hugs not drugs, man, right?
Hugs, not
Exactly.
drugs.
That's what they
Hugs,
say.
not drugs, and deliver my nuts. Well, Amber's nuts.
All right, fellas.
So Rick says, glad to see you all doing lives. Your oil was my first that I used. Unsrug. Great oil. Well, thanks, Rick. I appreciate that.
I concur concurrently, Rick.
It is probably outside of the new scents. It's easily our second most popular scent.
And that even got refined, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? Right when the butters came out.
Yeah, it was like right when we launched a new website.
Yep.
So
Because that got an overhaul from its original, and it
June
you can-
21.
You can really get that tobacco, that earthy tobacco accent to it now, which is sweet.
Yep.
I dig it. I didn't think I could fall in love with it any more than I already did. And then you guys redid it, and I was like, wow. spot on.
All right. We're going to go out on Brad Westbury. Great show, guys. Keep it up.
That we will.
We'll
Cool,
do
cool.
that.
Thanks, Brad, you silly American.
Yep. He's American now. We'll
American.
see you.
America.
See you, folks.
Peace out, man.
Subscribe, like, and stay tuned for next week.